2nd, 2022, 7 p.m. via Zoom virtual meeting. What else can I say about that? Alternative public access to this meeting will be utilizing the Zoom virtual meeting software, and we are allowed to do that by the state of Massachusetts at this point. So welcome, everyone. And you can also call in through the Zoom meeting link, and you can also watch us on NCTV live streaming at their YouTube channel. Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so I guess we can get started with our public hearings. We are looking at 37 Mirror Lake Avenue. There is a request for a local upgrade approval. They have requested to allow the soil absorption system to be designed and constructed without a percolation test as allowed by DEP policy with Norfolk Engineering.
Give me a second, I'm just pulling up those plans. I had them all ready to go and then I closed it out when I was trying to do the live streaming, so bear with me here for a sec. All right, let me see if I could share my screen.
I got relegated to the basement this evening. Apparently Gary's office was occupied with Gary.
Oh geez, where's my, hold on, I'm sorry. Let me, oh, there it is. Why is it not? This is not cooperating. File. Oh my God, my house phone is ringing. All right, I'm not having, I don't understand why my Google Drive is not coming up. But anyway, you all saw the plans, right? Yes, you did, Wade.
I'm just busting you, Betsy.
Yes, you did, Wade. Oh, I can turn my video on too. Sorry about that. Bob, do you just want to give a presentation? I think we all saw the plans.
Sure. So my name is Bob Vay with Norfolk Engineering, and this is 37 Mirror Lake Ave, a relatively small lot, an existing 2-bedroom house, and I've designed a 2-bedroom system. I was able to get it on the tight lot without asking for any variances or upgrades, except we weren't able to do the perk test on site due to the depth of the natural soil. And so we did a sieve analysis to determine a perk rate, and it actually came in as pretty good soil, which helped me on the tight lot. But I'm asking for the local upgrade approval to allow us to use the sieve test in lieu of a perk test. And I think besides that, the system is pretty straightforward.
Just one quick second. Thank you, Cheryl. Eileen, could you just, the variance preamble that I sent, could you just, I'm sorry, could you just read that?
No, absolutely. I apologize. So I am required to read the variance preamble. A variance hearing from Board of Health Regulations is called to order for March, what's today, the 22nd of 2022. It is my duty to inform you that you will have to provide the Board of Health with data to support your request for a waiver of Board of Health requirements, and that if you do not receive the waiver, it will do you manifest injustice. You will also have to show that what you intend to do is environmentally acceptable. So thank you, Mr. Vay, for starting your report on 37 Mirror Lake Avenue.
You're welcome. I think I started it and finished it. There's not a lot to it.
It was a short one.
Okay. Thank you. Wade, did you have any response to Mr. Vey?
Well, you did see my peer review letter, and it's a tight lot down by Mirror Lake. You can see by the site plan, even the house is really close to the lot line. And this is a good design. It meets its purpose. And yeah, it was too dangerous to do to attempt a percolation test. Because apparently when they built Mirror Lake, they leveled off the lot and they created quite a depth of fill from Mirror Lake onto the lot, and that's where the leaching facility is located. So I think the request is justifiable. I would only recommend, just to keep the application going forward, that a deed notification be requested that the dwelling remains as a 2-bedroom structure because of its location in a zone 2, nitrogen sensitive area. And that is all.
So how is that managed? What your recommendation is? Do they have to file something? Is it something that goes in the deed restriction?
That's correct. We have a template in the office that they could just fill out, and when the certificate of compliance comes in, that would be one of the documents we'd be looking for. It would be a document that's registered with the Norfolk Registry of Deeds with a date and a stamp on it, and the fee would be on it, and it'd be recorded and follow the property be following the property forever, that the house will stay as a 2-bedroom house.
Bob's familiar with the process.
I am. And I don't know if I missed anything important. My internet was out for a while Wade was talking. So.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Okay. Sorry, Wade.
It's all right, Bob. It's not the first time people kind of like just fall in some kind of trance when I'm talking. But you did volunteer, this, for a round of coffee and donuts.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Appreciate that.
Does anybody else have any?
Preferably on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Does anyone else have any further questions for either Mr. Vey or Mr. Saucier?
I just have one. Where does it stand with the Conservation Commission? Because it looks like there's work that's in their jurisdiction. Have they reviewed this yet, or has this been looked at?
So I did go there before I did the perk test, and because everything was in front of the site, they were comfortable where I was. And we'll just put a silt fence across the house line, and
okay,
we won't approach that at all.
Okay. That's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Cheryl, any questions or
No
concerns?
questions. No.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the variance for 37 Mirror Lake Avenue?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance for 37 Mirror Lake Avenue with the notice that there needs to be deed notification that it will be maintained as a 2-bedroom.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Cheryl Dunnington.
Andy Bakanowski, aye.
And Eileen Siegel, aye. All right. The motion has passed. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Great. Thank you.
All right, good night, Bob.
Take care,
Bye, Bob.
Bob.
All right, awesome. That is all set. Okay, our next public hearing is for 6 Ferndale Ave for a request for variance to install an in-ground pool 15 feet from the septic leaching area rather than the required 20-foot setback.
Well, Madam Chairman, when I reviewed the application and I talked to the company, the landscaping company, the pool architect, we worked it out that the pool is now in compliance. They just slid the pool over 5 feet. And they submitted me a revision on it, which I submitted to the office today. So that variance is no longer needed.
Okay, well, thank you
Wait,
so much.
do you suggest that they just, withdraw that variance request, or is there any action that is needed by the
Oh,
board?
I just, no, as I wrote in my peer review, there's no action needed by the board.
Okay,
I think the reason why I was even coming on for the board, the office was acting really quick and to give good service. So the application came to me about, I think it was like almost a week ago. And when I reacted on, it was already on the agenda by Thursday. And I didn't
Yeah.
talk to the company till Friday. And I think I talked to them Saturday also. And Monday we resolved it. And then I wrote my report in, and now it's Tuesday night.
okay.
So,
Because of posting requirements, I went ahead and scheduled it just in case they needed that variance. I didn't want them to have to wait a whole nother month.
yeah.
Okay, so no action is needed then.
No action is needed. Awesome. All right then.
Great.
Okay. That was quick. And apparently we have no appointments this evening, so we can move on to reviewing and approving the meeting minutes from February 22nd of 2022.
So shouldn't the second sentence be the first sentence? That Ms. Siegel called the hearing to order? And then the 260 Dedham Street request.
That seems to make sense.
Possible.
Awesome.
Two 2222. Wow.
Yes.
Any other changes you wanted made?
I didn't see anything with my quick review. I had a long, fun day at work today, so it's as much of an opportunity to look at these as I wish I did have.
I didn't see anything else, but that doesn't
No.
mean I missed anything.
I didn't see anything. I guess the only thing is just any follow-up with the 260 Dedham Street. The questions about the nitrate. I don't know if we're going to talk about that tonight, or wait if you can provide any insight as to how that should be addressed. I'd be kind of curious.
For what address again? I'm sorry, Andy.
The shooting range, on Dedham
Oh, the
Street.
shooting range.
Yeah.
I can look into that for you. I didn't look into it.
Okay.
So your comments were sent to the planning board. Which the hearing was 2 weeks ago, which I was not at. I was away on vacation, and I haven't done the meeting minutes for that, so I don't know if they were addressed at the meeting, but that hearing was continued to April 12th.
Okay. I have to admit, I have not been able to watch the YouTube video for a variety of reasons, but that's I did see that it was there, so I can also
there,
look
yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to look at it.
I'll be working on those meeting minutes the end of the week, so we can follow up with them.
Okay. Wait, I think since I asked those questions, the way I was sort of looking at things is, does this constitute an industrial wastewater discharge?
Now, how is it being processed?
We don't know. I mean, the crux to my question was, obviously in a shooting range, you're going to have various burnt and unburnt chemicals from the primer. And even though the ventilation system will capture most of that, there's still stuff that becomes fugitive throughout the building. And then as they clean the building, what do they do with any wash water? Are they mopping the floors? Are they putting stuff down floor drains, and where do the floor drains go? I obviously, there are dry well restrictions in the state, and are they proposing that? That's nothing is listed on the plan anywhere. So I'm going to make the assumption everything's probably going to go to the septic system, and I'm not sure that's the most environmentally sound thing to do, especially if you're looking at some of the concentrations of nitrates. And obviously the septic system does treat nitrates, but are we looking at something that's that shouldn't be going down the septic system other than just domestic waste, whether it's from the cafe they have there and just the use of toilets. I just don't know.
Yeah, typically those shooting ranges where you shoot, you have a door, you walk into a door, it's a closed off area. And a lot of towns will have like sticky floor mats that you walk on just to keep things off your feet, like so dust won't go, you won't walk in the dust and stuff, so the dust stays on the sticky pads. Well, that's the area probably where the concern would be, where they're actually shooting range.
Okay.
And then you have to see what kind of cleaning process of air and possibly solids. I know they will be collecting their shells because they recycle the shells.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how much lead is really given out. It's a good question. Or if it just goes off
The other question I have is are they going to be using jacketed rounds, or are they going to be using stainless steel, or are they going to be using lead free? We just don't know.
I think they'll probably be doing whatever the industry sells.
Yeah, whatever people bring in.
Yeah, because it's going to be a public, and they'll be selling bullets too.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So we should assume that's all the above essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're going to collect it, and it's going to it'll probably be collected inside each of the shooting range against the wall.
Okay.
So is that something we need to follow up with either the firm itself or the planning board, or ask them to provide us with information on how they are planning on cleaning, what they're selling, what people are bringing in?
I would say, if they have a standard operating procedure, that might be the best thing to do. Just ask, what are they going to allow ammunition from outside? Because chances are people will have a variety of anything. It's highly unlikely they're buying exclusively jacketed or copper or stainless steel shot. I don't know. We don't know. Maybe we can just ask them, because I think the engineer had said that he would follow up on questions with any questions we had. So Betsy, I don't know if you want to just forward him the email I had sent you.
Yep, I did do that, but we can follow up again to see if they have any responses to that.
Okay.
And that was sent to the design engineer? That was?
Yeah, field engineering.
Okay.
Like I said, the YouTube video from the planning board meeting is up on NCTV. And their next hearing with the planning board is on April 12th.
Okay. I'll give field engineering a call too, see how he's doing along with it.
Okay.
With the general standard cleaning operation, and if there's any kind of standards for the lead.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm asking more out of curiosity. One, because I've done assessments at firing ranges, both inside and outside. And I've also done work, looking at exposures to lead in indoor firing ranges and mobile firing ranges. So, you kind of get a little hypersensitive when somebody is presenting new stuff. But again, technology changes every year. So, everything might be an engineered solution, but we weren't given that information. So that's it. That's all I got.
All right.
All right.
We will follow up on that.
Okay.
Okay, so we are now looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 22nd, 2022.
As amended.
As amended. Thank you.
I can make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from 2/22/22 as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Cheryl Dunnington, aye.
Andy Bakanowski, aye.
And Eileen Siegel, aye. All right, the meeting minutes of February 22nd, 2022 are accepted. Awesome. All right. Okay, so our next order of business is our new old business. So we have COVID updates. I know that Tom had posted another update, I think, and we have that on the town website. Is that correct? Along with the Metacomet Public Health Alliance.
Yep, we have our new COVID dashboard, which is now being updated every Friday. So that is really it.
All right. And yeah, I don't think there's really many updates to have, right? So there's no longer a mask requirement in town buildings. It's really no mask requirements out in public anymore. Is the school system still using any masks at all, or have they negated all the mask requirements in the school? Do we know? Just curious.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Right.
Most schools are going to mask optional, so I would assume we are too.
Okay. Moving on to the Southwood Hospital 111 Denim Street Public Involvement Plan Update.
The only thing that I have to report tonight is that comments were provided from the phase 2 scope of work, primarily looking at the radioactive assessment. There were about 15 pages that were prepared, and comments are due in about 2 weeks, give or take. And the only other correspondence that was listed on the DEP website has been a letter to the folks at 111 Denim Street LLC about improving and expanding on the scope of work because they considered it was very generic, and we'll be waiting on a response for that. So that's all I have. I do know that the Public Involvement Plan Group has made contact with several former employees, and I think they're trying to make arrangements to talk to them and get the licensed site professional with EnviroTrack, get them together and talk and provide information. So it's moving as quick as I guess it can. I did drive by the site about 2 weeks ago, and I noticed that the asbestos survey crew was fully engaged in the building because they had 2 vans that were at the driveway end, and there was tons and tons of equipment and Tyvek and vacuum cleaners and all kinds of bags that were being sorted and moved out of the one van into another. So there's definitely work going on. So that's all I have.
That is great. I know that Karen, who was at the last meeting, she did forward me some of those YouTube videos that she had found of some of those kids who are doing their trailblazing through the area.
Yeah, and I mean that's a continuing issue, I think, with trying to insist that they do try to secure the buildings. I mean, it's the one thing that still freaks me out is that open elevator shaft that it's there's no electricity, and if their flashlight isn't working or if it flickers, somebody's going to take a fall. So
amazing. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your update, and I think we're going back to you for our Buckley Man property update as well.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't touched the letter since our last meeting, and the one reason why is because I understand that there was some activity going on the site. There was an excavator that was out there, and I don't know if they're doing test pits or they're doing more assessment work. There's nothing on the DEP website, so it'd be nice to figure out what they're doing, or if we can find out what they're doing. But I haven't touched the letter since our last meeting, so that's all I have. I don't have anything new to add. So, but obviously there's some activity going on out there.
I did see the excavator too. It just seemed like it was parked there. I didn't see it doing anything either. I driven by a couple of times on Lawrence Street, and it was just there.
Yeah, I saw it outside, sitting by the road as well, and I don't know what they were doing, but I haven't been by in probably a week, so it could have moved. I don't know. So that's,
there is a potential, I think, new purchaser or developer for that property.
okay.
Local engineering firm has been into the office and gathering some of the information that we have on file there.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Nothing's been submitted. They haven't applied to do any soil evaluations, but they could be doing some of their own, stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I mean, up until I guess decisions are made on whoever the potential buyer is, or if there's going to be a potential work out there. I mean, we'll I think we can wait, but obviously, the site as it stands within the mass contingency plan, it is out of compliance right now because they've missed deadlines, and the financial inability deadline passed a year ago. So it's been So something, DEP should be acting on this sooner than later, if anything. But I think we should just let things play out with the new work that's going on now, and seeing something comes to that. So that's my take on it.
All right. Okay. Our next subject is the Select Board Policies and Code of Conduct, which, if I recall, I think they sent that document out last year or the year before as well.
A while.
Yeah, was it? And it's been represented. I'm not sure why. Was it updated in some fashion, or it's just something they do yearly? Other
I don't know the
boards
answer.
didn't sign off on it.
I don't know if they sent it to everyone. I don't really know the answer to that question. I know that
51 pages long. I have to admit, I didn't get through the entire document. Andy, you said you had there were some parts of it that you were finding objectionable in some fashion.
Well, I received, actually, I went back and looked at the email. The first time I received this was September 2020. I had reviewed it, had a couple comments, didn't hear anything back, and then finally sent emails to the appropriate parties within the town, asking questions a little more direct. The document is, let's just stick with, I guess, with the structure of the document, which I find a little difficult. There's no definitions in there. The document as a policy should be removing subjective as well as personal, I guess, perception of a problem, and this doesn't do that at all. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing that, when it comes to actual substance of it, the definition is another thing. And then most policies usually have updates. This doesn't have anything. It just sort of seems to be grabbing a few items, few ideas, few concepts, and it's just not a thorough document. And I, for that reason, I just have a tough time even thinking about signing it. It doesn't do the intent. I understand the intent that they want, but it just doesn't do it. It's just a lacking document.
Now, are you talking about the policy document or the code of conduct document?
The code of conduct document, but also how it's presented. I mean, I've done policies before, and this seems to be, this seems to sort of be trying a hybrid document, which makes it more confusing. I mean, typically a policy identifies a problem, identifies the preferred course of action, and if there's regulatory or let's just say legal aspects of certain things within that part of the policy, those are clearly stated. And this doesn't state anything like that. So I mean, it just needs to be rehashed. I just don't think it's a very thorough document. But I understand what they're trying to do. Don't get me wrong. But it just doesn't seem to do that in a cohesive, coherent sense. So.
Is this something that was written by the select board? Is this something that there's a document they can look at the state level? That this is the recommended, code of conduct for select boards in the state of Massachusetts. Is that something that they based it on, or this was written out of whole cloth by someone? I couldn't get a sense of where it comes from. Maybe.
Yeah. I've done so every hospital that I have has a code of conduct policy, and it's much in a little bit more different detail. And again, there's definitions and things like that. Again, I'm separating the code of conduct from that select board policies, which is kind of a mishmash of all sorts of stuff. My question is, has legal counsel looked at either one of these policies? Because if I'm going to be signing, if I'm going to be signing something, I want to make sure that, it's the legal people have looked at it. Hold on one second. I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, I can tell you, I can't speak for any other departments, but the planning board, my board did not sign the acknowledgement form either. They had some reservations.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I think legal counsel needs to take a look at it because there are so many things. I think they're trying to answer a question, and I don't know if there was something that happened at some point in time that they were trying to comment on, but yeah, and any hospital, if they go to any hospital, you can do a code of conduct. It tells you how you're supposed to behave.
So do we send them back any comments, or we just send back a letter saying we decline to to sign the document and approve it? I'm not sure what the next step is if we don't.
Well, we can always inquire to see if town council has reviewed the documents.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I think that's reasonable.
Okay, stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah. Betsy, if you want to take the email I'd sent you, you can, take some of those, cherry pick some of the phrases if you want out of those. But, I get the last thing I'll say is that, obviously, if you've been in town as long as I have, I think we've had recall petitions come in front of the board, front of town meeting at least twice. And it seems like this is something that should be looked at and incorporated into this document as well. And for the simple reason is that it seems like that document focuses simply on appointments to town boards. It doesn't necessarily look at elected officials, even though it's implied in there, but they need to be consistent. And that's my main concern with the document. It's not consistent. So.
Interesting. So you had some issues, the fact that there wasn't any distinction or review between the appointments and elected and as well as recalling somebody.
Right. Right. And again, I know recall petitions are very, let's just say, they're very controversial and they can be very emotional. But knowing that it's these recall petition has come in front of town meeting twice and it's failed both times, and whether it's just presentation, I don't know, but that's something that needs to be considered at least as part of this. If the insistence on establishing a standard and how people will behave, it needs to apply to everyone who's serving the town, not just appointed boards.
And there has to be other towns that have this.
Yes.
Or there has to be a state, resource.
Is there any, has there been any meetings or anything that has, people come together from the different boards to review it, together as a group, or no, they just throw it out there and.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was discussed at any select board meetings, but no, there was not any kind of a joint meeting, with all the different boards and committees.
Interesting. All right. Well, that sounds like that might be something to do to get everybody's input.
Yes. We will have our HR director is retiring in July, so we may have somebody new on board that has some different ideas.
Okay.
All right. I will
I
keep
would
that in mind.
worry about it, so.
All right. Okay, so apparently we need to set our meeting schedule for next month, which would be the 4th Tuesday of April, making it the 26th of April, 2022.
For everybody?
Good.
Will we be still doing Zoom, or will we be moving to in-person?
Well, we still have the option. I believe the governor's order is still in effect until July.
Okay.
So we can make a decision. If you want to continue to do Zoom, we have the ability to do that.
I'm game either way. Just was asking the question.
We can make a decision, I think, when it gets a little closer to see how everybody feels about that. This meeting kind of snuck up on me. I was away on vacation. I was like, oh no. I was actually thinking the meeting was next week, and I look into the calendar. I'm like, oh geez. I said, well, so I just made the executive decision and scheduled it by Zoom. I didn't think anybody minded.
Is there any unanticipated new business that anybody has anything to discuss? I will invite everybody to the volunteer fair on Saturday. We have revived that for our third semi-annual with a COVID break. Volunteer fair this year. It's going to be at the Grange because when Al Baza brought it up to me and I contacted the library, but the community room had already been booked by the Girl Scouts. So that was out. So we're doing it at the Grange from 12 to 3 on this Saturday at the Grange. And we have probably about 10 to 12 groups coming in. Some people weren't able to make it kind of short notice, but the usual suspects will be there.
I did post that on the town website.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thanks. And then I sent Gary around with some flyers to put up around town.
Yep, which we hung up in town hall, so that's great. And it's posted on the Norfolk Community Facebook page.
I did that.
Awesome. I did. I saw that, and a couple other people shared it as well. So I think I put it on my Medical Reserve Corps page as well.
Great. Good.
Yeah. I meant to tell you, if you ever need any of those I saw the sandwich board. Where was that? I was coming
There's
to
one
work.
right in front of kind of Walgreens Island, and then I'll put one out by Peter's building.
I've got a couple of them if you ever need to borrow them. So
Okay, well, I appreciate that. And we had signs, but I couldn't get them updated in time. So I had to go to Staples the other day, and I've never actually had to email something to a printer, but I managed to do that and make copies all at the same time, that was challenging. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's input on the volunteer fair. Again, kind of short notice, but fun. I think we'll have a good time.
awesome. Actually, if I remember, I'll actually send one down to the senior center, see if they can.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's true. All right, I'll make Gary do that tomorrow.
I was gonna say, post it down there, so.
Okay, I forgot about them. What else was I gonna say? I was also gonna ask about, I had a quick conversation with Fran Sullivan the other day because she dropped off some of the Medical Reserve Corps stuff, which we're gonna put up for the volunteer fair.
Hey,
So
that was
we're-
Fran.
She is good. She is good. She's got a nice new car. She showed me her new plug-in hybrid, I think Toyota RAV4, which was very nice. We had a question, maybe because our MRC is a little bit defunct, I guess is the word I would use politely, whether or not because of the Medicomet Public Health Alliance that maybe joining with Rentham Medical Reserve Corps might be appropriate. I'd sent an email to Roberta Ho, who's the person in charge of the Region 4A, but I didn't hear back from her at this point. So is that something we can do? I don't know anything about whether.
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Join forces with them. We've, combined, nursing services and other, public health aspects. So.
Right. It seemed like it might be a good idea because we might be able to muster more volunteers together as two towns as opposed to just one.
Right.
So
Might be
that was
time
mine.
to get that going again now that hopefully we can, we have some more training. So.
Yeah. Good. All right. That's on my plan sheet. I've been working on that a little bit behind the radar.
Awesome.
All right. That was about the only unanticipated new business I had. Anybody else? No. All right. It's a quiet meeting and it's been 40 minutes. Managed to get more than half an hour this evening. I told Gary it'd be an hour, but I was wrong. All right.
Yourself now.
That's good. That's right. I can hide down here and just talk to myself. I'll never know. So should we entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting this evening?
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Cheryl Dunton, aye.
Eileen Siegel, aye. Awesome. All right. So officially we have adjourned the Board of Health meeting, March 22nd, 2022.
Okay. Good
Awesome.
night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.